Good evening and welcome to Kenton High School for tonight's Western Buckeye League matchup between the visiting Shawnee Indians and the hosts of Kenton Wildcats. I'm Nate Garlock alongside Caleb Gieskin, and tonight's pregame is brought to you by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken in Lima, Wapak, Delphus, and St. Mary's. Call Lee's for all your catering needs. Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, where home style happens here. You know, Caleb, we got a little bit of an interesting situation tonight. We got conference play on a Saturday night. Usually, you know, you're seeing that on a Friday night, you know, and then you get the non-conference matchup, but back-to-back conference games for these two teams. The Shawnee Indians had a very difficult one last night against Defiance. Those were the two top teams coming into conference play. They were able to win that one in overtime. And then on the other side, Kenton, they fell to Salina last night. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how both of these teams are after such difficult games last night.
Yeah, I like to call it a tale of two different stories. Like you said, Shawnee, great win against Defiance, 12-2 overall, 4-0 in the WBL. I like to see what they do here coming up, especially as we wrap up the season here, just to clean up a few things as they get ready for the state tournament, as well as Kenton, like you said, struggling 1-10 overall, 0-4 in conference play. Be kind of interesting to see if they can figure out who they are, find their identity, like I said, as we wrap up the regular season here.
Well, let's take a look at tonight's Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken keys to the game. We'll start first with the visiting Shawnee Indians.
Shawnee, I think the biggest thing is they got to continue to be aggressive. Obviously, with the two main guys, Beckett Berkey and Trevick Berkey, continue to be aggressive, not only offensively in transition, but also defensively. Cause a lot of turnovers, just create a bunch of havoc for Ken, as well as they need a lot of energy. I remember hearing a little bit about the game last night against Defiance. There wasn't much energy to start the game for Shawnee. They had to pick it up a little bit. If they can have that much energy from tip-off to the last buzzer, they'll be able to come out of here with a win.
On the other side of the floor, you know, obviously it hasn't been the season that Kenton would like. They have a difficult task in front of them tonight in the Shawnee Indians. What do the Wildcats need to do to come away with the victory?
I think one of the main things they got to do is just slow the game down. Shawnee is coming in here averaging about 62.5 points a game, a little bit higher than that after their win last night against Defiance. So they can slow it down and keep the hands out of Shawnee's hands. They'll have a chance against them, especially to shut down the Berkey brothers, because they've been averaging about 40 points per game as a team, as just them two combined. And the last thing is, play like you got nothing to lose. You got a chance here to go up against one of the top teams in WL and play spoiler. A lot of teams want to come in here and win the conference outright. Give them a chance, win this game, and try to get Shawnee to try to clinch a share of that WBL title instead.
We have a Saturday night conference play for you coming up. Don't go anywhere when we return. We'll have tonight's starting lineup in the opening tip. You're watching boys high school basketball on WOSN. Back tonight's scoreboard sponsor is Rhodes State College. Start your journey today. We are just about underway here at Kenton High School. I'm Nate Garlock alongside Caleb Giesking, as the opening tip is just moments away. And Caleb, I really do think that if you're Kenton, it is incredibly important to get off to a good start here.
Oh, absolutely. You already know Shawnee's going to be coming out firing on all cylinders. Like I said in the pregame, going to be aggressive offensively and defensively. You got to come out hot if you want to be able to hang with these guys.
Shawnee is going to control the opening tip. They're going to go right at the basket quickly. Third opportunity finally goes in as Trevick Berkey gets the scoring underway.
You're going to expect a lot of that from Shawnee tonight, especially the huge height difference. Trevick Berkey 6'7", Jagger Hutchins 6'7", Beckett Berkey 6'6", and that's just to name the starting lineup, where the tallest guy for Kenton comes in for Lucas Anderson at 6'3".
Dawson Miller not able to connect on that three-point try. One and done on a quick opening possession for Kenton. Tonight's quarter sponsor is Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken in Lima, Wapak, Delphus, and St. Mary's. Call Lee's for all your catering needs. Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, where home style happens here. First quarter just underway. Shawnee out to the early 2-0 lead.
You can already see Kenton now in a 2-3 zone. You can see Beckett Berkey flashing there at the free throw line, possibly get it air, then kick it back out for a three.
That one goes out of bounds. It will stay with the Indians. Trevick Berkey going to inbound it. Shawnee has been so good on inbound plays this year, and there's another one. An easy 2 points for Tate Bender.
Yeah, Tate Bender just wide open there right in the middle of the block, and the guys that were underneath there, I believe it was Dawson Miller and Lucas Anderson, kind of just staying there. It was wide open pass right there at the block.
Trevick Berkey, even though he got a little bit taken on that head fake with that long length of his, with that wingspan, still able to reject that one as it ends up going out of bounds off the Indians.
Another block for Beckett Berkey. This team's been phenomenal blocking all year. Over 52 blocks already this season.
And it is going to be a turnover on the Wildcats, so not the start that Kenton needed as they are down 4-0. And the basketball going back to Shawnee. Tate Bender brings it up for Shawnee, gets it over to Matthew Stiles. Taking a look at the starting lineups for both of these teams as Stiles in the lane gets that one to go. Matthew Stiles is taking a turn in the starting lineup tonight. He's being joined alongside Trevick Berkey, number 14 Tate Bender, number 22 Jagger Hutchins, and number 23 Beckett Berkey. For the Kenton Wildcats, they are starting number 1 Tavion Gillespie, number 2 Blaine Bushong, number 10 Lucas Anderson, number 13 Dawson Miller, and number 23 Stephen Piper.
Stephen Piper led the way for Kenton last night in their 70 to 51 loss to Salina, leading the way with 16 points.
Here's another turnover. Beckett Berkey going to drive, lays it up with the right hand. Shawnee on an 8-0 run to begin the game.
Yeah, the biggest thing for Kenton right now, you're already down 8-0, is just slow the game down. Try to take all the pressure on yourself, continue the ball movement, and try not to let Shawnee get a huge grabs on the aggressiveness on the defensive side of the ball.
And almost another turnover, but we are going to have a foul. Be the first one of the game.
You know, another block from Beckett Berkey. I think that's his second already of the game.
That's his first, team first.
Beckett Berkey is going to draw that whistle. It'll be his first, team's first. 5:37 left to go here in the opening quarter. Kenton trying to inbounds it, finally gets it back into the hands of Bushong, who passes it right back to Miller. Miller has to get through the double team, gets rid of it down into the corner. Nice crossover into the lane, switches hands, can't get that one to go down as Bushong was just off. Shawnee looking to run. Trevick goes up for the slam.
There's that transition offense from Shawnee. And as soon as that shot goes up and they get the rebound, all 5 are pushing down the floor as fast as they can to try to get an easy bucket. And sure enough, Trevick Berkey right there with the 2-hand slam.
Dawson Miller with the basketball right around that logo. Looks over to the bench, gets directions, lets the offense get going. Piper being guarded by Hutchins. Looking for a little bit of space. Shawnee playing man-to-man defense to start this one out. Beckett playing good defense as Kenton showing some patience. Gillespie has to get rid of it as Kenton having a hard time getting any kind of space. It looks like they want to try to go inside, but nothing coming open. Almost collide there, has to get rid of it. Piper for a deep 3. That one's off the front of the rim. Rebound ends up into the hands of Berkey. Beckett looking to push the tempo. He's going to get into the lane, lost the handle. Kenton comes up with the steal. They have numbers. Extra passes. Bushong trying to get a little fancy with that one. Kenton fortunate to be able to save it. Piper going to step into this one, tries to lay it off the glass, no good. Hutchins comes up with the rebound.
I think Bushong right there, the paint could have had an easy right-handed layup, decided to pass it off. He could have had the first 2 points of the game for Kenton.
Trevick running the baseline along with Stiles, little give and go as Stiles returned the favor. Trevick able to get that one up. It is 12-0. Kenton's going to take the timeout. We'll step aside as well and be back on WOSN. Welcome back. Tonight's timeouts are brought to you by Kenton Moose Family Center. The Kenton Moose in Hardin County's, the Kenton Moose is Hardin County's home for great food, fellowship, and friends. That's the Kenton Moose 428 in Kenton, online at KentonMoose428.com. Our free throw sponsor for tonight is Quest Federal Credit Union. Quest Federal Credit Union has 5 convenient locations to serve you. You can find them at questfcu.com. Kenton takes the timeout as they have seen Shawnee jump out to a 12-0 lead to begin this one. Still 3:45 left to go in the opening quarter.
Yeah, and so far this game, Kenton has been unable to get anything going. Any single time that you get the ball in your hands, immediate pressure from Shawnee. Can't find an open man, can't be able to get a shot up.
Kyle Barrett and Isaac Anderson have checked into the game for Kenton. See Dawson Miller with the basketball, looking for somewhere to go with it. Gets it to the inside. Barrett kicks it down into the corner. Bushong looking to go baseline. It's actually Piper. As he spun into the lane, he gets cut off, has to kick it back out. And that is going to be another turnover as Xavier Gillespie just could not get his feet to stop as he drove. And unfortunately for Kenton, they come up empty on that offensive possession out of the timeout.
Kenton's just got to slow this game down. They understand that they're in the deficit they are in. They just got to find a way to just slowly mount themselves back in. One shot's not going to immediately get them to tie this game back up. But if they can slowly get possessions going, they can be able to claw their way back in this game.
Matthew Stiles wasn't able to connect on that three-point try. Hutchins almost had the rebound, but couldn't get it to go down. And Steven Piper is finally able to get Kenton on the scoreboard with a nice jumper from the free throw line. Bender gets it down to Berkey. Berkey long pass over to Hutchins. Hutchins looking to drive, drops it off to Stiles as he's going to pull it back out. And now Trevick Berkey. And you see, this is a unique thing out of this Shawnee. The bigs from Shawnee run the offense a lot. Beckett looking to drive through a couple of defenders. He is going to be fouled. Looks like he's going to be okay. His teammates help him up off the floor. He's going to run that out just a little bit as Beckett Berkey is going to make his first trip to the Quest Federal Credit Union free throw line.
Nice move from Beckett Berkey there. Got in the middle of the paint. Kenton just swarming right in, realized the defender was on his right shoulder, spun towards his left, able to get a shot up, but luckily to get a foul call as well.
Berkey not able to connect on that free throw. He will have one more coming. A couple of substitutions coming in for Shawnee. Max Goldsberry, Caleb Miller into the game. Beckett lines up his second shot, and this one is good. So Berkey's going to check out as Demola Ojo is going to come in for the first time tonight.
Another big man for the Shawnee Indians. Like I mentioned, you had Berkey, Hutchins, and Berkey all 6'7", 6'is. Demola Ojo can come in at 6'4", so it's another tall guy coming in for the Indians.
Shawnee showing some pressure to Kenton now. They're able to break that press nicely. Bushong trying to get it over to Miller, but it gets tipped out of bounds by Berkey, and it will stay with the Wildcats. Dawson Miller going to trigger the inbounds. Has to go back into the backcourt for that one as Blaine Bushong is able to track it down. He's working against Bender. Bender, known for his tough defense, forces Bushong to get rid of that one. Now Dawson Miller working against Ojo. Right now, Shawnee doing a great job of forcing Kenton to have to work around the perimeter. Every time they've tried to go to the inside, not a lot of space. They forced a lot of turnovers that way as well. This ball's going to go out of bounds. Last touch by Shawnee is Ojo, and that incredible wingspan of his is just causing all sorts of problems for Dawson Miller. Miller looking to get it inbounds. Gets it into the hands of Barrett. Barrett being guarded by Miller. As you see, just continuing just harassment defense coming from the Indians.
And you talked about Shawnee keeping Kenton outside of the paint. Didn't seem like Ken's really having that many guys crash into the paint as well, or try to get the ball down into the block.
Great read by Piper, one-on-one. And this is going to be a charge. Great job by Tate Bender. He saw Steven Piper coming downhill, put himself in position as an easy call for the officials.
You do not see many people standing there and taking a charge like Tate Bender just did.
Bender going to bring it up the floor for Shawnee now, 14-12. Just about a minute left to go in the opening quarter. Goldsberry kicks it back out. Long two on the way. That one's going to be no good. Fight for the rebound. Ends up in the hands of Ojo, and he gets the putback for two.
Yeah, Ojo just stood right there at the block. Nobody boxed him out, and it was an easy putback for number 4.
5 different Indians have scored so far here in the quarter. Good find underneath. Unfortunately for Kenton, though, every time they get inside, they are surrounded by that Shawnee defense. As Bushong just kind of has to throw that one up. I think he was hoping for some contact. And it is going to go back to Shawnee as Beckett Berkey will check into the game. Trevick will take a seat.
Yeah, the ball got in underneath for Kenton to number 4, Kyle Bear, but as soon as he got it in there at the block, just took it right back out. Don't be afraid to take it there, take it into the block, because you back down your man, you might get some help defense, and it'll create an open man there around the perimeter.
Bender thought about the three-pointer there for a second, but Shawnee looking to hold here for the last shot. 8 seconds left to go. Beckett Berkey with the basketball. 5 seconds. Bender, they're going to have to hurry up. Beckett has this one partially blocked. Great defensive effort from Kenton there at the end of the quarter, but it has been all Shawnee as they are on top 16-2. We'll step aside and be back on WOSN. Welcome back. Tonight's game is presented by Superior Credit Union, home of the Spirit checking account and official sponsor of the Western Buckeye League. Our scoreboard sponsor is Road State College. Start your journey today. Taking a look at the Road State College scoreboard, it has been all Shawnee as they are on top 16-2, Caleb.
Yeah, Shawnee has done a phenomenal job of that, getting into the paint, then kicking it out. Kenton came in a 2-3 zone, left the paint wide open a majority of the time. They come into a 2-1-2, so you have a guy there at the block, but as soon as you get the ball there in the paint, that zone is collapsing. You'll be able to kick it out to anybody on the outside.
We'll see what kind of adjustments Kenton made during or in between quarters. Second quarter underway. Our quarter sponsor, Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken in Lima, Walpock, Delphix, and St. Mary's. Call Lee's for all your catering needs. Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, where homestyle happens here. Another turnover by the Wildcats, but Shawnee comes up empty as they came down the floor, and they're going to give it right back to the Wildcats.
Yeah, it was another steal there from number 4 for Shawnee, Damala Ojo. So that meant that just that pressure from Shawnee trying to force Kenton to make a stay. And so far, like scoreboard says, they've been showing it very, very well.
Kenton not able to come up with that one. Berkey with the basketball, drops it over to Bender. Step back three on its way. That one's off the mark. Fighting for the loose ball as it is going to end up staying with Shawnee as Blaine Bushong was trying to get on the floor to save that one, but ends up touching the end line. Inbound comes to Beckett. He lets the three-pointer go. That one's going to be no good. Kenton comes up with the rebound.
Yeah, Trevick Berkey and Beckett Berkey are not afraid to shoot the basketball. You expect for guys size 6'7", 6'6", you expect them to be in the post, backing down their man, but them guys can do catch and shoot all around the three-point line, all around the floor.
Kenton still looking to get something going here consistently on offense. Right now, I think they're just trying to see if they can't maybe create a little bit of space. Lucas Anderson going to run the baseline, working against Goldsberry. He gets cut off, has to push it back out. No one touches as they do. The official says last touch by Shawnee as it will stay with the Wildcats. We got a host of changes coming in for the Indians, but prior to that, we're going to have a timeout on the floor. We'll step aside and be back on WOSN. Tonight's timeout sponsor is Kenton Moose Family Center. The Kenton Moose is Hardin County's home for great food, fellowship, and friends. The Kenton Moose 428 in Kenton, online at KentonMoose428.com. So the Wildcats take the timeout. See what they're able to draw up here for this offensive possession.
Yeah, you can already see 5 guys all around the three-point line, not even taking a look there inside the block, inside the paint.
Three-pointer by Anderson isn't able to connect on anything. Shawnee gathers up the rebound. Here's Hutchins. He's going to drive, kicks it down to the corner. Beckett Berkey for three. That one's going to be off the back iron. Long rebound gathered in by Kenton. They're looking to drive, and Berkey rejects that one. Picks it up himself. Going to run the floor. Extra pass down to Hutchins. Lets the defender fly by, and he gets the easy 2 points.
It wasn't a bad move there by Tavion Gillespie going up against the body of Berkey, but just that length of his to be able to swat that off the backboard.
18-2, Indians on top. Stephen Piper with the basketball, working against Trevick. He's going to spin into the lane. And just like we have seen pretty much all game so far, Kenton hasn't been able to get anything going once they get inside. That defense from Shawnee's done a nice job of collapsing, that length causing all sorts of issues for the Wildcats.
Yeah, the length is helping when you get those double teams there underneath. And Kenton leaves a guy open, but it's not that much awareness of trying to find that open man when it's almost like they're passing it without even realizing like where they're actually looking.
Another turnover for Shawnee as Coach Triplett cannot be happy with these turnovers.
That's the biggest thing for Shawnee coming down the stretch here. When they finish up this regular season, going to the tournament, turnovers are going to be one of the biggest things for Shawnee to clean up if they want to make a deep tournament run.
Long three by Bushong, no good. Berkey with the rebound. He gets it down low to DeMolo, who lets the defense fly by. He goes up and under and in for two. Kenton trying to get something going, trying to run through screens, see if they can't get somebody open. Anderson does it but loses the basketball, so he has to get rid of it. Great job running the floor by Dawson Miller, and a great find, as that was not an easy pass. He anticipated the cut, and Dawson Miller through contact able to finish for two.
And what a pass there from Lucas Anderson. Nice bounce pass. Like you said, the Dawson Miller threading the needle. I'm surprised that got through, and a great finish from Miller as well.
Ojo gets whistled for the foul. It's his first. He's going to take a seat. Tate Bender back into the game, and we're going to have a foul on the rebound. This is going to go against Lucas Anderson. It'll be his first.
Number 10, Lucas Anderson, that's his first, team first.
4:39 left to go before halftime. Shawnee on top, 20-4. If you're Coach Triplett, too, you don't want your team to start getting into some bad habits and just chucking up bad shots. You still want to run the offense. You still want to work on things. As Matthew Stiles, you saw the offhand extend there. He's going to pick up the foul. But those are the things you want. You know, you still want to be able to have some quality time on the floor tonight. Even if you are playing a team that you overmatch a little bit, you don't want to just start shooting, throwing things up, getting into bad habits, because those aren't anything that you can learn coming out of this game. And so some of these turnovers that we've seen, it's almost like Shawnee's trying to do a little bit too much instead of just running their offense.
Yeah, and it doesn't hurt too trying new things as well, just seeing if something works, something doesn't work as well. But the thing is, you can't, yeah, like you said, you can't get sloppy. You can't create those bad habits. You want everything to be working for you. I've always said this to people. You want to be playing your best ball at the end of the season. Shawnee, maybe not playing the – some people might be saying they're playing their best ball, but you want to start playing your best basketball towards the end of the season come tournament time. And that's what helping working on what you need to perfect.
Good find down low as Trevick Berkey is able to get another 2 points. He now has 8 here in the half. Miller, deep three on its way. That one's going to be off the front of the rim. Beckett goes in and gets that one. Berkey going to run the floor, takes it down low to Trevick. An easy assist that time, as the Berkey brothers did probably what they've done 1,000 times in their career. Just a nice little lob on the inside.
Yeah, anytime you see two brothers on the same floor, it almost seems like they got that connection, that mind connection, where you know exactly where they're going to be at all times.
Bushong looking for somewhere to go with it. Bender with the tight defense. Here's Piper. Had a little bit of space, but I think some hesitation that time must have cost him. Bushong doing a nice job running the floor. Can't get that layup to go, and that is going to be last touch off of the foot of Beckett Berkey. See Isaac Anderson coming back into the game along with Kyle Barrett. 3:04 left to go now before half. Kenton trying to see if they can't get something going here in the later parts of the second quarter. And it is going to be another turnover. As it looked like that time, Kyle Barrett just took his eyes off the basketball. I think he was trying to see where he wanted to go before he fully secured that basketball. And unfortunately, it's going to lead to another turnover for the Wildcats. Tate Bender with the basketball. Shawnee moves it around the perimeter. Going to give it to Trevick as Trevick gets behind the defense and he throws it down.
Yeah, Trevick Berkey just coming from behind. He was sitting in the corner. Berkey his brother just lobs it up, and he's right there to finish.
Here's Piper, has to kick it back out. Bushong looking to drive, as this time it's Hutchins who's able to knock it out of bounds. So Tavion Gillespie coming back into the game. Demola Ojo and Max Goldsberry checking in for Shawnee. It's one of those nights where Coach Triplett is going to be able to exercise the depth of his bench here tonight. So we're seeing that here, at least in the early going, is lots of substitutions so far for the Indians.
Yeah, you want to get your guys as many minutes as possible, see what works for you, what doesn't work for you. Possibly some guys just getting some experience on the floor as well, because you never know who you'll need when you finish off the regular season and go into the playoffs.
Great rebound by Anderson, but he has that one rejected. Bender pulls it back out. Hutchins lets the defender go by, lines up the three, and he connects. Jagger Hutchins, 5 points in the quarter. 29-24. Here's Miller working against Hutchins. Loses his footing, but able to keep the hold of the basketball. Piper's going to let the deep three go. That one's going to be just short. Seen a lot of shots for Kenton come up just a little bit short. And when you see that, you wonder if it's just a little bit of tired legs. We talked about the tough game they had against Salina last night, and they just quite haven't been able to get the kind of push that you would like to see, you know, if you're Coach Williams.
Yeah, it could even be taking shots from deeper from the three-point line than you're expected to shoot from. But Ken, with the lead that they are down right, with the deficit they have right now, you kind of just have to find something. You have to get a shot up. You just got to get something going for them. And unfortunately for them, nothing's really going their way right now.
Jagger Hutchins was fouled as he makes a trip to the Quest Federal Credit Union free throw line. He's able to connect on his first. Quest Federal Credit Union has 5 convenient locations to serve you. You can find them at questfcu.com. Hutchins' second free throw on its way. That one's going to be no good. Gillespie able to get that rebound, brings it up into the front court, gets rid of it. Miller looking to go baseline, gets cut off. As at number 10, Jack Fishbach has checked into the game for Shawnee. And he picks up that first foul.
That's his first. Team first.
Third team foul here in the quarter for the Indians. 1:06 left to go. Piper looking to trigger the inbounds, gets it out to Barrett. Barrett waiting for Piper to come free at the top of the key, gets it to him. He's going to pull up for three. Probably had that one partially blocked, but Anderson right there. Good. Excuse me. It was a good heads-up play that time by Anderson as he saw that one partially blocked, gathered it in, and put it up for two.
Great defense there from Tavion Gillespie, going in there, getting the tip, and diving for the loose ball.
Here's Piper looking to drive. Puts it up. That one's going to be no good. Ball's loose, gets it into Goldsberry. He pushes up to Trevick. Trevick, big step into the lane, lays it up for two.
Nice move there from Trevick as well, taking the ball, going over the body of Gillespie to make sure if he kept it low, ball might have gotten tipped, and a steal for Gillespie, but instead takes it over top of him to keep hold of it.
Final 10 seconds. Kenton with the basketball. There's Gillespie. He's going to put it up with the left hand. That one's no good. Ojo gets it, but we're going to have an offensive foul as Ojo, as he went to try to rip it away, looks like maybe his elbow might have made contact, and the official's going to whistle in for the foul.
Yeah, as soon as he had Gillespie all over him to possibly get a jump ball, and as soon as Ojo kind of turned to try to get away from him, got a little bit of that elbow as well.
3.6 seconds left to go. Plenty of time to catch this one and get your feet set. Gillespie's going to have to turn and go quickly, though. Here's Miller. Got to put it up. Has this one partially blocked, but there's going to be another foul, as this is also going to go on Ojo. So prior to going to the locker room, Dawson Miller will have an opportunity here to shoot 3 free throws from the Quest Federal Credit Union free throw line.
Yeah, that's going to be a foul Coach Triplett is not going to be a fan of, especially late in the game. And obviously you want to try to go for the block, try to get your stats up. You don't want to allow a three-pointer, but allowing a foul like that towards the end of the half is definitely something you don't want to do.
So Miller not able to connect on his first. He'll have 2 more. Lines up the second. Shot is on its way. This one is good. One final shot, and then we will be heading to the locker room as Dawson Miller goes 2 for 3 as Kenton maybe a little bit of momentum. I mean, they are still down big, but it was a nice exchange there in the last 15 seconds. Finally got a couple of things going their way. We're going to step aside. We'll be back with the third quarter on WOSN. Welcome back. Tonight's scoreboard is sponsored by Rhodes State College. Start your journey today. Third quarter underway here at Kenton High School. Nick Garlock alongside Caleb Giesken. And, you know, it wasn't the greatest first half for the Kenton Wildcats, Caleb, but they did show some life there towards the end of that second quarter.
They absolutely did. It helped out getting a shooting foul on Damala Ojo, getting a couple free throws from Dawson Miller, and then a shot right there as well. I think they need to come out here and just play loose, play free. Like, you got nothing to lose. You're down 24 at the half. Just play free, and you never really know what happens from there.
Well, so far so good, as on their first possession they score. Now it's back-to-back possessions where they got some points. Coach Triplett not going to be real happy with this team's effort here, and this is what can happen sometimes when you get a little bit too confident. You don't play within yourself. You just start kind of throwing things up. And unless Shawnee gets back to running the offense like they do right there, you'll give Kenton a little bit of life, but a nice job by Beckett Berkey to find Trevick on the inside as he gets that one up and in.
Yeah, it's an easy backdoor cut for there from Trevick, wide open there underneath the basket. Like I said as well on the pregame show, Shawnee's just got to keep up that energy. They can't let up. They can't let their foot off the gas. They have to continue to be aggressive on the offensive end as well as the defensive end. So you even let up just a little bit, is you're going to give Kenton just a sliver of hope to get back in this game.
Gillespie has to get rid of it. He picked up his dribble, gets it into the hands of Bushong, being guarded by Trevick. Bushong looking for somebody to come free to the inside. Finally, he's able to find Anderson. Anderson hands it off to Piper, who goes to the inside, but Trevick was there to send that one out of bounds. And look at that out of bounds, Caleb. I'll tell you what, I don't know if there's too much more intimidating factor, you know, on the Three Wise Men earlier this week. I was talking with Miles Holliday and Danny Holbrook. We were talking about the best student sections, and they brought up Kenton. This is the first time I've been here this year, but that student section stands right at the edge of that out of bounds, and they do not sit down. So anytime you're out of bounds, you're warming up, they are right on top of you.
I know a lot of the games, like, I'm from Miller City, so you have the student section standing behind the bench, and then you have all the other schools where they're behind the bench or they're standing on the bleachers that are quite a ways away from that baseline. Like you said, Ken, they're right up along that baseline, and they haven't moved.
Blaine Bushong able to float that one in for two. Bender comes up, takes this one, gets it down to Stiles. As both teams have their original starting five out on the floor, as there's going to be a push by Anderson. For Shawnee, Trevick Berkey, Matthew Stiles, Tate Bender, Jagger Hutchins, and Beckett Berkey out on the floor. And for Kenton, Tavion Gillespie, Blaine Bushong, Lucas Anderson, Dawson Miller, and Stephen Piper. Great inbounds play yet again as Shawnee is able to score. Coach Triplett takes the timeout. We'll step aside as well and be back on WOSN. Welcome back. Tonight's timeout sponsors the Kenton Moose Family Center. Kenton Moose is Hardin County's home for great food, fellowship, and friends. That's the Kenton Moose 428 in Kenton, online at KentonMoose428.com. Shawnee takes the timeout out of coming off of that made basket. And you actually picked up on something, Caleb. As Shawnee was coming to the bench, you can kind of overhear some of the players.
Yeah, you can kind of see a little dissatisfaction from one of the players, Beckett Berkey, a junior. You expect a lot of your leadership to come from the seniors. You get it from Beckett Berkey, who's only a junior. Coming into that huddle during the timeout, he said it's not good enough. It's not good enough. They have a 22-point lead, and he's saying that it's not good enough. That's the standard that Shawnee has held in and a year out. Coach Triplett has done a phenomenal job with this program now in his 11th year. And Beckett Berkey, I doubt he's the only one, but he believes this is a really good team. They're 12-2. The record shows it. But he believes that this could be a team that can go quite a ways into this tournament, possibly even make it to the state tournament, which I believe they haven't done since 2021.
5:20 left to go. 3-point try on its way. That one's no good. Our quarter sponsors, Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken in Lima, Walpock, Delphus, and St. Mary's. Call Lee's for all your catering needs. Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, where home style happens here. See Matthew Stiles able to get his second basket of the night. Shawnee offense trying to find a little bit of rhythm here in the third quarter. Piper looking to change direction, but loses that one out of bounds. It'll go back to Shawnee. Bender going to inbounds this one, going to get it into Trevick. It's Shawnee on top, 38-14, 4:50 left to go. Have to pass this one out wide as a little bit of a congestion, and it all ended up working out just fine as Beckett Berkey connects from the free throw line.
2-3 zone still not working for Kenton. As you saw there, Beckett Berkey was wide open there at the free throw line. Nobody was there for him. It was just a turn, catch, and shoot, nothing but net.
Beckett Berkeley only 6 points on the night. Shawnee, though, still up big, 40-14. Here's Piper. He's going to pull the trigger on a deep three and finally connects. Steven Piper. He was almost on the other side of the floor when he let that one go. Trevick trying to answer. That one's no good. Jagger there for the rebound. Spins, puts it in.
2 points for Jagger.
Jagger now with 7 here tonight. Miller goes right.
What a finish.
And it's going to be a charge as Dawson Miller went right at Beckett Berkey. But Dawson Miller going to get whistled for the, or no, they're going to say block, excuse me. I thought the official made the motion like it was a charge, but he changed the call, and that is going to be the second foul on Beckett Berkey here tonight.
That was a crazy finish there from Dawson Miller. It was just like a rapid fire right off the backboard, spun around the rim in half a second. I didn't expect it to fall in that quickly.
Dawson Miller steps up to the Quest Federal Credit Union free throw line, able to connect on that one. Matthew Stiles with the basketball, gets it inside. Trevick running baseline, takes the pass from Beckett and puts it in for 2.
Yeah, it's been looking so easy for Shawnee this entire game. Just getting the ball into the paint, then a quick cut, quick little dump over to the height for Shawnee, and just an easy finish right at the rim.
Here's Piper working inside. Great job to get Trevick looking off of the ball, and Piper able to get it in for 2. Extra pass, here's Trevick, almost lost it, gathers it back in, gets it up to Beckett. He's going to drive, kicks out to the corner, 3 on its way. That one's going to be off the mark. Nice job by Womack to be able to go up and get that rebound. Lesby in the lane, a little bit out of control, but gathers himself back up. Can't get that one to go down. They're going to push it up ahead. Here's Trevick to Hutchins. Hutchins gets that one off the glass.
2 for Jagger Hutchins.
46-22, 2:35 left to go here in the third. Miller with the basketball, gets it to Bushong. Bushong thought about the three-pointer, but pulls it back down. Here's Miller working against Stiles. He's looking to drive, gets it up. That one's going to be no good. The presence of Trevick that time a little bit too much, but Berkey put a little bit more on that pass than Hutchins would have liked, and it is going to go out of bounds and back to the Wildcats.
Yeah, that's that aggressive offense, transition offense there from Shawnee. Get a block, get the defensive board, then immediately sprint down the other end of the court. And then Dawson Miller, he's not afraid to attack the basket. You didn't really see much from Kenton that first half, going into the paint, attacking the basket. You saw him around, just really hanging around the three-point line. Now they're really starting to attack the basket. The problem is they're going up against 6'7", 6'6".
We got to have another whistle as this one is going to go on Piper. Or no, actually it's going to go against Hutchins. I thought it was going to be Piper and Miller who kind of got themselves tangled up, but actually it was a little bit farther away from the ball. So Hutchins picks up that foul. Kenton's going to maintain possession, but they're going to give it right back. Ojo slows things down, drops it off to Goldsberry, who gets it back into the hands of Hutchins. Hutchins looking to direct traffic. Goldsberry extra pass underneath. Here's Ojo. He's going to pull it out. Hutchins looking to drive. Good ball movement from the Indians. Not a lot of dribbles, a lot of quick one-touch passes, but Ojo loses that one.
Yeah, it just slipped out of his hands. Like you said, great ball movement there by Shawnee, trying to get that Kenton 2-3 defense moving, trying to find an open man, but Kenton was doing a great job closing the man out.
Anderson has this one taken away. Ojo slows things down, does a nice job of not panicking as he lost that one, as Shawnee's going to be able to maintain possession. Caleb Miller with the basketball. He has a little bit of space if he wants to take it, but instead of trying to force the issue, gets it over to Hutchins. Hutchins, deep three. Jagger Hutchins having a nice night. That now gives him 13. Piper working off the screen. Gets it out to Anderson. And we are going to have a whistle and a foul, as this is going to go on Piper.
Fouls on Stephen Piper. That's his third. Wildcats second.
Wildcats' second foul here in the corner. Just 45 seconds left to go in the third. Scoring slowed down a little bit here for the Indians. They are still on top, 49-22. Jack Fishbach check into the game for the Indians during that timeout. Here's Hutchins, catch and shoot three. That one's gonna be no good. Rebound into the hands of the Wildcat. They lose it though. Ojo was there with the good defense. He pokes it away. Miller able to save it, get it back to him. Caleb Miller lines up the three. He can't connect. Kyle Barrett gonna bring it up for the Wildcats. 10 seconds left to go. Here's Maddox Hummel. He loses it. Ojo all over the floor defensively tonight. Hasn't had his greatest offensive night, but he gives that extra effort on defense every time.
Yeah, you expect that a lot. When you have a player who's not doing really anything offense, can't get a shot to fall, can't grab an offensive board, a lot of the times that's when they really lock in on the defensive end, where they crash a defensive board, go for the steal or a block.
1 second left to go as they lost track of where the clock was, and they're going to come up empty on that last possession. Shawnee still up big. They're on top 49-22. We'll step aside, be back with the fourth quarter on WOSN. Welcome back. Tonight's free throws are brought to you by Quest Federal Credit Union. Quest Federal Credit Union has 5 convenient locations to serve you, and you can find them at questfcu.com. Our sponsor for tonight's game is Superior Credit Union, home of the Spirit Credit Checking Account and official sponsor of the Western Buckeye League. Fourth quarter underway here at Kenton High School. I'm Nate Garlock alongside Caleb Gieskin. It has been all Shawnee pretty much from the start. Goldsberry, he tries a three-pointer. That one's going to be no good. Kenton comes up with the rebound. Dawson Miller looking to go to the inside. Nice find. Braylon Wyomick able to connect for two. It's his first basket of the night. Berkey with the basketball now for Shawnee. So you got to think that they're not going to be in much of a hurry at any point here in this quarter and just kind of let the clock wind down. Beckett lines up a three-pointer. That one's good. He's had a quiet night offensively. That is just his 9th point, but he has been all over the floor. He's got to be in double-digit rebounds by now as well.
Yeah, he's done a phenomenal job, like I was talking about a little bit there, with Ojo doing a great job on the defensive end, getting some blocks, getting some defensive boards, and he's doing a really good job on the offensive end as well, flashing at the high post, flashing at the free throw line, getting it, then dumping it down to anybody cutting into the paint from the corner.
See Dawson Miller able to connect on a three. Nice answer. Ojo just goes up and rips that offensive rebound away, and he gets that one up for two. Luke Holden-Dobler, he's into the game, and we're going to have a whistle. And this foul is going to go on Jack Fishball.
Jack Fishball. That's his second team first.
So during halftime here in Kenton, Caleb, you know, they have that drawing, right? And they have this raffle. You can buy tickets, and if you're lucky enough to get picked, you get an opportunity to win some money. You can shoot a 3-point try, you get $100. You get a half-court shot, that's $500. I think it was like 20 or 25 seconds you had to make both shots. So tonight's winner decides they don't want to do it or they can't do it. We weren't quite sure who won. It was kind of hard to tell. Wasn't sure if it was one of the cheerleaders or if it was somebody else in the stands that just couldn't do it. Either way, right, they asked the athletic director. They said, hey, will you mind being a proxy for me, filling in and doing this for me? The athletic director here is a great job by Hummel to get in the lane and get that one in for 2. But Brett Purcell is the athletic director here at Kenton. He graciously stepped in to fill in and be the proxy for that contest. And I'll tell you what, is the most excited we've seen the gym here tonight, right? Took him 3 tries, but he finally got the 3-point try in. He had 5 seconds left to go, and then he drains the $500 half-court shot at the buzzer. It was unreal. It was unreal. The gym was electric.
It was. Like, we just watching it. We saw some fan over there is like, I don't want to do it, you do. And they were like, all right, AD, Brett Purcell's going to do it. First 3 doesn't go in. The second and third one don't go in. As soon as they announce 10 seconds, launches up his 4th 3, nothing but net. And he's jogging to the half-court line, kind of like, yeah, whatever. Gets the 5 seconds, turns around, throws it up, and it goes in. And like you said, the gym was absolutely
most excited.
Yeah, everybody was just going crazy. It was unbelievable. I had to go down to the PA announcer, ask him like who it was, like what was it for, just so we can tell you guys. And man, that was awesome.
Yeah, big shout out to Brett Purcell here, doing a nice job stepping in, filling in, and you know, if you're going to be a proxy for somebody and substitute, you might as well win the whole thing, and he did just that. We see a whole host of substitutions coming in for Shawnee, as we will look to get some of these numbers here for you. You see number 42, Kobe Bentz, in for Shawnee. Number 5, that's Luke Marshall. Number 21 is Cam Barker. Good find underneath here is Kobe. As Bentz puts that one up, that one's going to be no good. And then, not sure number 12. I know that the number 12 that we have here in the scorebook isn't right. So we'll try to figure out who that is. But this is going to be last touch by Kenton, so it'll stay with Shawnee.
Yeah, it's always great to see these kind of players, guys who got a lot of reps on the reserve, on the junior varsity, come in, get some varsity reps, just get that experience on the floor, possibly even go up, get some guys who are at the varsity level, just to get that experience there, get you used to playing varsity basketball. Great
job by Luke Marshall there as he was able to get to the inside, took the contact, got himself to the free throw line. So he is going to step up to the Quest Federal Credit Union free throw line to shoot 2. Or no, actually, I think he had the and 1. He got that to go down. So it'll just be an and 1 situation for Marshall. Number 14, Isaac Anderson, checking in for Kenton, as Marshall is able to connect on his and 1 opportunity. Miller brings the ball up the floor for Kenton, drops it off to Anderson. Here's Hummel down into the corner. Nice step back as Hummel thought that Wyoming was going to step over and to take that pass, but he stayed put, so it goes out of bounds and back to Shawnee.
You just got to get that feel there of where your teammate's going to be at. He kind of like, as he was passing it, he was starting to turn. He was like, oh, that was not to where I wanted it to go to. But it's kind of like you have to turn for a split second and see where he's at and then get it to him.
3-point try was no good, but Bent's there to score the rebound. As he takes it up through contact, he's going to have an and 1 opportunity. Oh, excuse me, it's actually Luke McGuire. I had the wrong name here in the scorebook for 42. So Luke McGuire steps to the free throw line for the and 1. He leaves that one short. Kenton able to track down the rebound. 4 minutes left to go. Shawnee in control. Kenton just trying to see if maybe they can't get a few positive things going here towards the end of this game that they can use to carry through practice and into next week's games. Here's Miller looking to drive, splits the defense, gets that one off the glass, no good. Fishbach with the rebound. Jack brings it up the floor. Looking to drive, keeps it himself, off the glass, that one's no good. Fight for the loose ball, ends up in the hands of Shawnee. Shawnee now gonna reset, let the offense slow down. Here's Barker, gonna move it over to the perimeter. This ball comes open, 3 ball on its way, that one's gonna be off. And we are gonna have it's a timeout, but just for a substitution. So we're not gonna step aside, as we'll get back underway almost immediately. 3:15 left to go. And, you know, Caleb, you weren't quite sure if you're going to have some kind of hangover from Shawnee. They had a really tough game. They were trailing in most of that one against Defiance last night and had to make a comeback late and end up going into overtime before they come away with the victory. But a lot of times games with that much emotion can really drain you, and you don't know how much you have left. But the Indians have done a great job tonight to make sure that they didn't have any sort of hangover or letdown from that win last night.
Yeah, I think Mark Triplett, I want to take a guess here. The speech after that game was like, great win. It was an awesome one. We're on top of WL. On to the next one. Enjoy this one tonight, but we're on to the next one. We got Ken. It's probably just that next game mentality. You win a game, you got to go on to the next one. You can't get happy about having all these wins and stuff like that. You got to be able to go on to the next game, and he's done a great job getting these guys ready for the game tonight, bringing that energy, just bringing a lot of aggression onto the floor offensive and defensively.
Shot on its way. Marshall's shot is going to be off. Be tracked down by Hummel, but he almost lost the handle, able to gather it back up. Kenton has obviously struggled this season. They're going to fall to 1-11, 0-5 in conference play. It has been a rough patch for them. You know, if you're Coach Williams, how do you keep these guys' heads up as the season still has a long way to go? There's still things that you can accomplish. You can still take positives as you're trying to get this program built back up. But it can be difficult when you experience so much losing. At the end of the day, I mean, you know, that does affect kids. I mean, they're just high school kids.
Yeah, and I think you said it exactly right there. Just telling, like, we still got a long ways to go. We still got a month until tournament play starts. There's still a lot of things that we can accomplish. And I think I got this correctly. Christian Williams, this is his first year as the head basketball coach here at Kent. There's still a lot of stuff that he's learning, trying to figure out what style of play works for his team, for his players, still trying to figure out how he wants to be as a coach. And it just takes time, trying to get fit in, trying to get that right just play style he wants for his team. And it's a pretty young team. You only got 3 seniors on this squad. So, like I said, yeah, 1-11, not a great start, but you still got a lot of things that you could accomplish throughout the rest of the season.
Great job by Cam Barker there to run the floor as he's able to get that one up for 2. Kenton and Shawnee both still playing hard. Wyoming's 3 on its way. That one's going to be off the mark. Rebound down to Shawnee. Made basket for the Indians as we are now under a minute. Jack Fishbach gets his first points of the night. Hummel looking to drive. You know, this Shawnee team has a tough stretch coming up. They had a tough game last night against Defiance. They still have a matchup with Lima Senior looming not too far from now as well. And just the regular Western Buckeye League schedule for them. So still a lot for Coach Triplett's team to accomplish before this season ends. They've had 2, I guess you can say, letdowns. They lost a game against St. John's that Coach Triplett and the entire team will tell you that they should have won. They were up big. They were up, I think, at 20 at one point on that team. But that Delphos St. John's team is so good. They let them come back in, end up losing that one late in the 4th quarter. And then their other loss all the way back to the Tip-Off Classic, night 2, a game that they also forced to overtime that they ended up not being able to close out. But this is a very, very talented Shawnee team. But there's still things that they need to work on. You still see maybe too many turnovers, too many forced shots. There's still room to grow. And I think, if anything, if you're Shawnee, that just shows you how dangerous you can be.
Yeah, like Mark Triplett has been here for a long time, 11th season as the head coach here at Shawnee, and he's had very talented teams ever since he's been here. I remember like the 2020 team, 2021, the team last season as well. And he understands that these teams are going to have those mistakes, those turnovers, those missed chances at defensive boards, not being able to convert at the charity stripe. But he understands like those stuff's going to happen. How can we be able to overcome those mistakes when they happen?
So that is just going to about wrap it up for us here at Kenton High School as the Shawnee Indians come away with a huge victory over the Kenton Wildcats. I'd like to thank our crew tonight. Jacob, doing all the hard work, running the cameras. He's been up and down these steps more times than I would have wanted to be, setting everything up. We get the easy job, Caleb. We come here. You know, you've been on the other side of this. This is a lot easier, sitting here, being able to call the game. You know, we appreciate everything that our crew does for us night in and night out. You know, he's going to go back, work late at night, editing this as well. So we cannot thank you enough for all the work that you do, Jacob. One final time for Kenton. Before we go, we want to thank our sponsors one final time: Road State College, Quest Federal Credit Union, Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken, the Kenton Moose, and Superior Credit Union. These broadcasts would not be possible without you, so thank you so much for your support. One final time from Kenton High School, the Shawnee Indians come up with a big conference victory. They stay undefeated and on top of the WBL as they knock off the Kenton Wildcats. For Caleb Gieskin, I'm Nate Garlock. Thanks for tuning in and have a great night, everybody.